FNAF was a mid movie, but it was a great movie adaptation of a game. I feel like a lot of movies that try to adapt from a game don't succeed very well. For example, Uncharted wasn't that good a movie.
Boring.
Yeah, and what other game movies were there? Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
There's none that come to mind.
Mario and
Unlike,
Sonic, but I like those ones.
okay, let's scrap that. It's what's that Tomb Raider? Did that have a movie?
In like the early 2000s.
Do people like it?
I don't remember.
Who knows? Either way, Five Nights at Freddy's was a good adaptation for what a lot of people describe as games are very hard to adapt into movies. So Five Nights at Freddy's catered to the fan base enough that people enjoyed it, who were fans of it and were satisfied by what they saw. But I feel like it also catered to the people who didn't know really what the games were and explained the movie well enough to them. And it had that good balancing act of it not being too patronizing on the fans, but also it being able to explain to the new people. Gmail, what are your thoughts?
Someone who barely knows Five Nights at Freddy's lore and has just played the first game, I thought the movie was kind of boring. I can't lie.
Really?
Yeah, I was just like, that's a film when I came out of the cinema, but I kind of just went going in as a joke because Five Nights at Freddy funny. But like everyone else in that cinema, they were diehard fans because we watched it opening
Oh,
night.
yeah.
So there was just a bunch of neeks with like Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise. And they all like, oh, it's the bite of 87. Oh, okay, nerd.
It was when the woman got cut in half. Someone in our cinema. Was that the bite of 87?
And then we all burst out into laughing, like, ha, you're funny. But yeah, like,
Yeah,
I didn't feel like it was very scary at all as a horror
it
movie.
wasn't. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't scary. The what I noticed when watching it the other day was the jump scares were very soft. Not in terms of how they were filmed, but a lot to do with jump scares is sound. If you take a movie and you remove the sound, like a horror movie with jump scares, and you remove the sound, the jump scares all of a sudden become a lot less scary. So most of what jump scares do to scare you come from the audio. And when I say it's soft in this movie, what I mean is rather than it being suddenly bang, like large bang, large sound, if you listen to the audio, all of the jump scares fade in. They still fade in quickly, but they fade in they come in slowly enough that it doesn't scare you. You're always expecting the jump scare to be when it is, and the sounds aren't so jarring that it makes you jump.
Yeah, like, I feel like the jump scares in the game are way worse. Like, they could have just, like, just done the exact same as the game, and then that would have been pretty scary, where they just, like, jump at you with the.
Yeah, I think this movie served the fans well, especially with Matt Pat in the movie. Yeah, Matt Pat was in the movie. He had a good cameo. Cool seeing him in there. I know the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I've only played like the first three. I've watched the game theory videos on them, so I do know like generally what it's about. But I'm not a diehard fan. If you told me to tell you anything about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, I couldn't tell you anything other than like the key words like Bite of 87, Freddy Fazbear, Chica. So while I do know more than, I do know about Five Nights at Freddy's and I know some of the lore and stuff, I'm not a diehard fan, nor could I recite much of the lore from the games. Gmail,
Oh,
what did you like about the movie?
I'm gonna describe the plot all of his film.
Go on.
The plot, basically, I'm gonna do a spoiler-free plot. So,
Ooh,
Josh Hutcherson from the hit movie Hunger Games. Bro's looking for a job. His parents are just not there, so he has to look after his sister or whatever. So he's looking for a job, finds a place. Ooh, Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. So he's the security guard, like in the hit game. Then he finds out the animatronics get a bit crazy at night. Oh, and
whoa.
then that it just goes on from there, and he's trying to discover why is Freddy there for 5 nights.
Yeah, and he also has to find out what happened to his brother. So his brother gets kidnapped
Oh yeah, I
in
forgot that happened.
yeah, his brother gets kidnapped like 15 years ago, something like that. And when Josh was a kid, and he has to find out, or he thinks that something at Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria has something to do with his brother going missing. So that's why he stays at the job despite knowing that the animatronics are evil. See, it was a pretty tight knitted plot. I don't think there were many plot holes that I can think of at the top of my head, unlike a lot of movies and TV shows that come out nowadays. So I do respect that, but also I wasn't expecting there to be a lot of plot holes. I know the Five Nights at Freddy's game lore has a lot of convoluted and conflicting parts, but I feel like that's just because of time. I feel like that's just because Scott Coffin wanted to take the game into certain directions, and then he over time he just changed his mind and stuff. Well, because now he has the movie, he knows what he wants the overarching story to be, and he's had 10 plus years to do that with the game.
He was there for 5 nights.
He was there for 5 nights. That's so true, bro. But yeah, I think the movie was fun. Even again, not like a award winning movie. It's not got amazing acting. I think the animatronics were sick. I think they did that really well.
Yeah, I like how they use like practical effects and like didn't rely on CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, yeah, the
I feel like
animatronics they look pretty like accurate to the games from what I remember. That's
yeah,
good.
if you did this movie maybe like 6 years ago, I feel like they would have just been dog shit CGI.
Yeah,
So I think it was made at the right time. They also, I'm pretty sure they've confirmed there's a sequel coming as well. What? Yeah, so there'll be a sequel coming. Again, like I was just talking about, they'll probably expand upon like the overarching story just because it's something that the creators probably want to do. Apparently, Markiplier was meant to be in the movie as well.
yeah, but then you had scheduling issues.
Yeah, it's scheduling issues. So they were trying to cater to the fans a lot. You know, they had Markiplier, they were gonna have Markiplier, they had Matt Pat. But yeah, it's a movie that I would describe as an okay movie overall. Okay for people who haven't viewed the game before, but good and satisfying for people who are fans of the games and played the games for them to enjoy and be a pretty good payoff for waiting for what, maybe like 7 years since the movie was originally announced. It was announced ages ago. Yeah, so Jima, what'd you give the movie?
I give it a solid 5. I thought it was pretty mid, nothing crazy.
I agree. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Like, subscribe.